This is the Fifine AM8 microphone, and this is the Fifine SC3 audio interface, and I'm going to review them because Fifine sent them to me to do that for some reason. Are they any good? What are these buttons for? Can you turn off the LEDs? Stay tuned for all that and more. And don't worry, I'm not a complete corporate show. Fifine didn't give me money. They have no say in what I say, and they don't get to see this video before it goes live. There will be some links in the description and comments though, and they might be affiliate links if I get around to setting that sort of thing up. It's not very likely. If you're not convinced, then you should watch this review by Tom Buck instead. He made it completely independently. If you're new to this channel, hello. I'm Jesse. This is not my usual type of content. If you like Game Boys, electronics hacking, programming, and a bit of motivation, then you should subscribe. If you're wondering why I'm making this video, the short answer is that I kind of wanted an audio interface so that I could play around with XLR microphones someday. But I'm cheap, and Fifine offered to give me one for this review. I'll have a longer, less flippant answer at the end of the video if you're interested. Okay, review. Let's go. I'll start with the microphone. This is it. I'll probably have some B-roll right now. It's an entry-level microphone marketed towards gamers, streamers, and people getting started with podcast or talking head type content. It's a combo USB XLR podcast style dynamic microphone. You can connect it to your computer over USB and it should just show up as a microphone and work. There's no software. It's great. All my audio so far has been from the AM8, connected with USB. Now, this is what the AM8 sounds like with no EQ, no noise reduction, and the only processing is some gain adjustment. I'm sorry if I'm making a lot of mouth clicks. Trust me, I have to listen to them over and over while editing. I know they're annoying. Now I'm going to be quiet for a little bit so you can get some idea of the noise and room sound pickup it gets. Speaking of listening to myself, there's a headphone jack on the back for live monitoring of the microphone and audio output from your computer. That means you can hear what the microphone is picking up without any noticeable delay. That's a handy feature because you'll be able to tell if your sound is weird, if the gain is set right, or if you're picking up any noises you might want to do something about. It also means that if you're wearing headphones, you'll still know how loud you're talking, so you don't end up yelling by accident. The mic has two physical knobs, one for the microphone's gain or amplification, and one for headphone volume. I wouldn't recommend getting a USB mic that doesn't have a physical gain control, especially if it has to rely on special software to set it. It's much nicer to have a control right on the microphone that will let you set it how you want. There's also a capacitive touch button to mute the microphone, with an LED to indicate if it's muted or not. Red for muted, green for not. The last two things are the XLR jack and this capacitive touch button to control the LEDs. Tapping it will cycle through different modes, and long pressing it will turn them off entirely. I appreciate that. I'm not big on the RGB LED aesthetic. Oh, also, you talk into this end of the microphone. Maybe that sounds silly to tell you, but it's not. There's even a word for it. It's called a top address microphone, and it's not unreasonable to think you can talk into it from the side. Microphones that you use like that are called side address microphones. There are fancy words for it, so it's not silly. The AM8 also does a pretty good job of rejecting sounds that aren't coming straight into the top. This is me talking to it straight into the front, and I'm going to be spinning it, and now we're talking into the side, and now we're talking, or I'm talking, you're not talking, I'm talking into the back, and spinning it around the other way, front again, hello, now we're talking into the side, and we're talking into I'm talking into the back. Alright, I don't know why I kept saying we. The AM8 comes with this desk stand that screws into the connector on the microphone. This connector is actually pretty neat. It has 3/8 inch and 5/8 inch threads built in, so it gives you more mounting options without adapters. The 3/8 threads are kinda in there though, so whatever you're screwing in needs to fit. I needed to connect it to a 1/4-20 mount, and the 1/4-20 to 3/8 adapter I had didn't fit, so I had to get a 5/8 to 1/4-20. Exciting story, I know. One thing you might have noticed is that the microphone is right up here in my face, and it's pretty prominent in the shot. That's not because I'm trying to advertise the microphone. It's because this type of microphone is intended to be positioned fairly close to your mouth to get the best audio. Really, that's true of all microphones, but some microphones are designed to do a better job at getting audio from a distance. The AM8 is not one of them. For best results, you'll want to keep it around a hand's width from your mouth. As you get even closer, you should notice that the bass of your voice gets boosted, making it sound deeper. Some people like that kind of effect. That's not unique to the AM8 or anything. It's called the proximity effect. It just means you'll have to play around to find a distance that sounds good to you. Another issue with getting closer to the mic are plosives, the burst of air that happens when you make a P or a T sound. The foam cover helps reduce them, but it can only do so much. Not getting too close helps too. And you can help more by putting the mic to the side, but still pointing at your mouth. That way, the microphone isn't in the direct path of the air bursts, and it should still do a good job picking up your voice. This is called positioning the microphone off-axis. So you'll have to play around with your positioning to get it how you like. If you look at the AM8 product page, you can see here that they have the mic positioned close to the speaker's mouth, but a little below and pointing at the mouth. You might also notice that those desk stands are way taller than the one that comes with the microphone. That's one of the AM8's shortcomings. The stand it comes with is way too short to get the best audio. You'll have to put something under it to raise it up, which kind of ruins the look, or get some other way to mount it, which adds to the price. The audio isn't terrible or anything, you'll just have to boost the volume and you'll pick up some noise and other sounds. Here I am testing the Fifine AM8 using its included desk stand. How does it sound? Another shortcoming of this mic is that it's very susceptible to handling noises. That means you'll hear every time you touch it. So this isn't a mic you want to be handling or moving around a bunch while using it. This is what it sounds like when I gently pet the microphone. And the stand. And the arm it's on. And this is some light desk tapping. Finger drumming. And this is what typing on a mechanical keyboard with tactile switches sounds like. Okay, I think that's it for the facts. Now for some opinions. I think this mic sounds good. I'm actually surprised with how much I like the sound. I don't have a sophisticated ear though, and different microphones treat different voices differently. So your mileage will vary. It doesn't seem to be the cleanest audio. There's some noise, but as long as your mic is a good distance from your mouth, then the noise shouldn't be a big problem. I think the AM8 fits perfectly as a first microphone. If you just want better audio and don't want to go beyond that, then the AM8 just works. Plug it in and go. You just have to worry about the positioning, and really you could ignore that and get good enough results. If you're interested in learning more about audio equipment, then the AM8 gives you a good base and gives you room to grow. Since it's USB and not super sensitive, you can get started right away without investing in an audio interface or sound treating your room. Having the live monitoring headphone jack gives you the immediate feedback to help you learn good positioning and gain level. When you're ready to upgrade, the next steps will probably be into XLR equipment. And since the AM8 has XLR output, you can get an XLR audio interface without needing to get a new mic right away. When you do end up getting a new mic, the AM8 has good enough quality that you'll still be able to use it as a backup mic or a second mic if you ever need to record two people. To summarize, it's cheap, it gives you something to play with and learn, and you can stubbornly keep using it longer than you probably should. Would I buy it myself if I were starting from scratch? Definitely not. I don't want a podcast-style microphone. I don't like this big thing right in front of my face taking up so much of the shot. And for some reason it feels weird to me for using in video meetings. Like, maybe it's getting in the way. I don't know. I like having audio equipment as invisible as possible. Either I position my mic just out of frame, or I use a tiny lav mic and try to hide it a bit. That being said, I'm finding I like the sound I'm getting from it a bit more than with my usual setup. So I don't know. Hopefully that was an adequate introduction to the world of microphones, and I gave you enough information to help you decide what you want to do. Now, USB microphones do a few separate things. It has to be a microphone that turns sound into electrical signals. It has to amplify that signal based on the gain setting. Then it goes into an analog to digital converter, or ADC. Then into the computer over USB. It also takes audio signals coming from the computer and mixes it into the microphone's audio, and sending the audio out the audio jack. All this stuff has nothing to do with being a microphone. Instead of having all that stuffed into your mic, you can have a separate device called an audio interface. That's what the Fifine SC3 is. It connects to your computer over USB-C. It has audio input for a mic and output for earphones. It also has some other inputs and outputs and features. But before we get into that, why would you even want a separate device for this? I have 3 reasons. The first reason is a bit silly. Physical controls. I like physical controls, and I really like sliders. So cool, so professional feeling. Not all interfaces have sliders, some have knobs, but still it's nice to have physical controls, and I like having them not on the microphone itself. The second reason is that all that audio interface stuff inside a USB microphone adds complexity and increases cost. In principle, if you had 2 microphones that cost the same, one was USB and the other was just a plain mic, then the plain one should be a better microphone. That's ignoring all the business aspects of making and selling mics that could affect that ideal situation. Of course, if you spent the same money on a plain microphone plus an interface, as you would on the USB one, then you'd probably have something worse. Though, as you get into higher-end microphones, they tend not to have USB functionality. That makes sense. They're focusing on making a good microphone, and letting other companies worry about all the other stuff. The third reason is that having the microphone and interface separate lets you try different mics and upgrade things separately. Everyone has different voices and different situations, and not all mics work and sound best for everyone. And when you upgrade, you'll probably be able to get more bang for your buck by just focusing on the microphone or the interface. Of course, this suggests there are reasons why you would want to upgrade from the SC3 interface. And there are. The SC3 is far from the best interface. There are 3 things you'd probably be looking for when upgrading: more inputs, less noise, and more gain. The more inputs is pretty straightforward. Maybe you want more people talking, so you'll need to have more mics. Having them all go into one interface is nice. You'll be able to monitor both mics at once to make sure their volumes match, for one thing. For noise, the amplification and analog to digital conversion add noise to your audio. Better interfaces tend to have better amplifiers and analog to digital converters, so they'll give you a cleaner audio signal, assuming your mic isn't super noisy. The more gain thing has to do with using different mics. If you watch enough streamers and YouTube, you've probably seen this mic. It's the Shure SM7B. It's kind of the easy answer when you're looking for good audio and you're willing to spend the money. And it's an easy way to look like you have some idea what you're doing. Anyway, the point is, the SM7B cannot be used with the Fifine SC3 without adding something to boost the SM7B. That's because the SM7B is very quiet, and it needs a lot of amplification to get a good signal. That amplification is measured in decibels of gain. The SM7B needs like 60 dB to be usable for a voice. The SC3 caps out at 50 dB of gain. 50 is less than 60. You can get things to boost your mic, like a cloud lifter or FedHead, but those add to cost, and maybe you should have spent that money on other things. Alright, that's why you might want an audio interface in the first place. What's the deal with the SC3? It's cheap, it has XLR input, and it has those fancy schmancy sliders that I crave. It also has the live monitoring output that I think is so important. For what it's worth, I can't really tell the difference in audio between hooking the AMA up to it through XLR compared to connecting the AM8 directly to my computer through USB. They seem to give a similar level of noise. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. From here on out, I'll be using the XLR feed going through the SC3 for the audio. Here's what this setup sounds with me not making any noise. And here's what my regular audio sounds like, again, with me not talking. It has 2 separate inputs, microphone and line in. The line in would be for something like a console or another computer or phone or something. The microphone input gives you 3 options. The main input is a combo XLR and 1/4 inch jack. And if you have a 1/4 inch to 3.5mm converter like this, You can also use that. It also has a headset input if you have a headset with a single TRRS plug for mic and output. The microphone and line in have their own volume controls, which is nice. I mentioned using another computer. Fifine doesn't recommend the SC3 for a dual computer streaming setup though, since you'll either be sacrificing hearing sound from your streaming PC, like notifications, or sacrificing having your mic go to the gaming PC if you're playing multiplayer. I think combining the SC3 with the AM8 might give you a workaround though. I'll talk about that later. The SC3 has two audio outputs, one for headphones and one for line out to go to speakers or a separate recording device, I guess. Like the inputs, the earphone and line out have separate volume controls. You can also turn the live monitoring on and off if you're tired of hearing yourself. Like the AM8, you plug it into your computer with USB, and it should just work with no additional software. I've tried it with Linux and a Mac, and it works. The SC3 also has some other, more gimmicky features. The Fifine product page says they're not gimmicks though, so what do I know? It has those cool gamer LEDs with different pattern options, which you can turn off if you want. It has a voice changer feature with 6 effects labeled male, female, robot, monster, baby, and elder. This is what my voice sounds like normally.
This is the male effect.
This is the female effect.
This is the robot. This is the monster.
This is the baby.
This is the elder.
Leave a comment below to let me know which one you like best. There's also an auto-tune feature with 12 pitch options. In my opinion, the voice effects are more fun than the auto-tune. But you do you, though it's probably best to use either of them judiciously. The last of these features are the 4 programmable sample pads. These are a mix of neat and a little disappointing. The idea is that you can record 4 audio samples and play them back when you want. The recordings are 15 seconds max, and they'll record the mic audio and the audio coming from your computer. You could use it for intro or outro music, sound effects, or to capture stuff while you're playing or streaming. The frustrating points are that the recordings aren't saved anywhere, and they'll be lost if the SC3 loses power, so they're not ideal for a setup you're frequently setting up and tearing down, or just turning off when you're not using. Another problem is it takes a moment to start recording. You do it by long pressing the pad you want to record to. It doesn't seem ideal for capturing spur-of-the-moment audio. You really need to be prepared to record. And the last thing is that the playback quality is noticeably worse than the live audio. Probably not a big deal though. Here, I'll show you something. I'll be talking a bit and then holding down the record and then playing it back to give you an idea how long it takes to start. Okay, starting now, and I'm talking and I guess it's recording now. So hello, how's it going? Good? Like and subscribe. Alright, so now I'll play it back and I guess it's recording now. So hello, how's it going? Good? Like and subscribe. And that's how it works. So, would I buy the SC3? Probably not, but I'm perfectly happy to have it. Honestly, just the sliders are enough to make me happy. But if you just want the sliders, or the option for different microphones and inputs, or the sound effects speak to you, then the SC3 seems fine. I like that you can get some use out of it if you only have a headset to start with. That's nice. My concluding thoughts on the AM8 and SC3 are that, at first, I didn't think I'd want to fit them into my workflow. Maybe I'd keep them set up for video meetings or something. After using them, I'm actually kind of liking the AM8, and I'm thinking of making an effort to figure out how to fit them into my workflow. I've already used them to record a couple of things, and I like the audio I'm getting. So I'll have to see. Okay, so what wonderful powers do you get by combining the AM8 with the SC3? I said it might give you a workaround for a dual PC setup. Like I said, the problem with using the SC3 in a dual PC setup is that you'll have to choose to connect the USB to the gaming PC or the streaming PC, and both have their downsides. If you connect it to your gaming PC, you can route the audio to the streaming PC, but you can't get audio from the streaming PC into your headphones. You cannot connect your streaming PC to the line-in on the SC3, because that would send your stream audio to your game, which sounds annoying. If you connect the SC3 to the streaming PC, and hook up the gaming PC's audio to the line in, then you get your stream audio and gaming audio. But your mic won't go to the gaming PC. That's fine if it's a single player though. And you cannot hook up the SC3's line out to the gaming PC because that would feed the gaming audio back into the gaming PC, sending it to the voice chat. You won't be popular if you do that. But the AM8 has the fancy ability of working as a USB microphone and XLR microphone at the same time. So you connect the AM8 to the gaming PC over USB, the SC3 to the streaming PC over USB, and the gaming PC's line out to the SC3's line in. Now, you get your gaming audio and your streaming audio. Your stream gets your gaming audio and your mic audio, and the game gets your mic audio. Everyone wins. So if anyone wants to send me a nice high-end gaming PC to try this out, feel free. Okay. Now for the longer answer as to why I'm even doing this video. In my mind, it's kind of a weird fit for this channel, and all I get for it is the devices and a video topic. And I wasn't really interested in the microphone. I've spent a bunch of time writing the script for this video, and I'll put a bunch of time into editing it. So that's not a small cost to me. And I'm pretty skeptical this video will do big numbers on my channel. So I'm not really getting much out of it. Plus, maybe it dilutes my brand and erodes viewer trust and that sort of thing. Fifine has gotten someone talking about their products for however long I've been talking, and I've been pretty non-negative, maybe even positive about it. And all it cost them was sending me a couple of products. Even if this video doesn't get a lot of views, it's still a reasonably cost-effective advertising strategy, like I said at the start. One reason is that I just wanted an XLR audio interface. That wasn't quite enough to get me on board though. Not for the amount of effort and expected value I'd get. It's a relatively easy video topic though, and I shouldn't be tempted to spend weeks on a bunch of complicated visualizations. What got me on board was that I figured I could use it as an opportunity to help people who are interested in getting started in audio, seeing as the AM8 and SC3 are both entry-level devices. I'm not an expert, but I think I know enough to point people in the right general direction of where to start looking, and I hope I've accomplished that with this video. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if there are topics I didn't cover here, or if you think I'm just a corporate shill now or sellout and you're very disappointed in me. Really, the best way to show your dissatisfaction is to attach an angry message to a Ko-fi donation. I give priority headspace to those criticisms. And be sure to subscribe so I can keep disappointing you. Bye.